Hey guys, it's me Elizabeth from Fashions of the Past. Welcome or welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making some vintage aprons. Let's hope this works. So basically I took a pattern from a vintage apron that I bought at an antique store that was falling apart. I actually wore the apron a couple times, but then it was falling apart and I was like, I love this style of this apron and this fabric. I loved everything about it besides the fact that it was really thin fabric and it was falling apart. And so it's like, I'm going to take a pattern off of this and make an apron. I never did that. I did that sometime last year. I took the pattern off. I used the pattern paper that I had at the time. And yeah, I have the pattern pieces. We have one tie piece. I didn't do a very good job of making these pattern pieces, so they're kind of wonky. But I'm just going to use the general shape and then actually make them like more symmetrical when I put them on the fabric. And then I have a pocket, which again is not very well drawn out. And then I have the back apron strap, this piece, which I think goes like that. I have to remember again exactly how this is put together, but I think I know how this is put together. So I'm gonna put this part on the fold, and then there'll be two of these. So this part needs to go on the fold. And then we have the front of the apron, which I have laid out on my fabric that I have chosen. I have this vintage fabric that I got from my church. And basically, it's this floral that has red and blue and green and white, which is not too dissimilar to the original fabric, which is really nice because I was on the hunt for something that looked very, very, very as similar as it could to the original fabric, and I could not find it. This is the fabric and what we're dealing with. I have it inside out. This is what it looks like, but here's the pattern all laid out, and this is an apron that I'm making for myself. I have this fabric. Someone from my church gave me 3 pieces of fabric, and there is like an endless amount of fabric in here. Like, I could probably make like 6 aprons out of this. That is a lot of fabric. A lot of fabric. So I don't know 100% what I'm going to do with all of it, but I know I want to make at least 1 apron, maybe even like 2. And I'm thinking that I will attempt to sell those on Etsy. So I had this plan that I wanted to make some stuff and sell it on Etsy. I specifically wanted to make some 18th century petticoats and things like that. And I have fabric for it, but I never did it. So my plan is that I still eventually would like to do that, but I also want to like make other things and maybe try and attempt to sell it on Etsy. So I'm thinking, why don't I start out with this apron, because should be a really easy and simple project. And so I figured I would use this fabric because I'm really happy that this person from my church is giving me fabric. Like, that's great, and it's so nice of her. But also, that's just not something that I would personally wear. So, if I make something to sell on Etsy that someone else would be interested in this fabric, that's the route to go. Alright guys, I officially cut it out, and I pinned it together just to make sure I knew how the construction worked and to make sure that it was going to be right. And then I pinned the ties on to make sure that they were a good length. And I cut them longer than I drew them because I wanted to just make sure that they weren't too short, because they looked kind of short. But it works out. The length they're originally supposed to be is perfect because the back of the apron goes pretty like close to each other at the back, so there doesn't need to be long giant ties like a normal apron has. So this works perfectly. But I have it all cut out, and I came up with an idea for the binding. Hopefully that idea works. We'll see. I'm gonna take this piece that I cut off, and I'm gonna go wash it before I cut anything else, so I can make sure anything shrinks that needs to shrink and that it's not all gross and disgusting. I should probably just wash that piece as well, but this is kind of grossing me out now that I saw yellow spots on it. So I'm going to go wash it and then I'll cut it out, because that's disgusting. So I don't know if this is enough, but I have this stuff. I don't even know if I'm calling it the right thing. Stay tape or whatever you want to call this. So I could do a better job finishing the edge right there. But here's what the pocket looks like. I don't think that's too bad. I mean, I should iron it and stuff, but that's not too bad. I'm actually fairly happy with that. I think I'm going to try to be more precise when I do the actual apron part. It did get all the edges on the other side, which is good, because I think the edge on the outside is smaller than the edge on the inside. I made it bigger on the inside, so that's good. But I think this actually looks really cute. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I did use a white thread, and that's super noticeable, but oh well. I do have a red thread, but it doesn't match. It would just look weird, so I thought white would just be better. It's fine. So I am now attaching the binding, and I will say this is a tedious task, not very fun, but it looks so good. It's almost worth it. But I will say it's kind of infuriating because you will sew it, because I'm sewing it in one go, so you just sew and you think, oh, it's good, and then you go back and there's a spot that didn't sew to the actual fabric, and it's like, you have to figure that out. But I finally figured out a good way to fix that without having to seam rip a whole bunch of a section to redo it, so that's good. So I'm gonna work on binding the neckline, and then I have to bind the outer edge of it, and then we can attach the ties and the pocket. This is an easy project, so yay for that. Hello everyone. I think I've officially finished it. I've officially finished making my apron, and here's what it looks like. I am flabbergasted. I don't know if you can see this, and this is what it looks like in the back. Now let me put this on. Oh, I'm so excited. Hopefully this looks as good as I think it does. We'll see. But holy crap. I feel like this is gonna be pretty awesome. And then tie this in the back. Pocket might not be placed at the exact right spot. I don't know. It's not like the most usable pocket anyways. But here is the final product. Here's what it looks like in full. And I am very happy with this. Here's what it looks like in the back. And yeah, there's apron. I'm gonna make some more of these aprons and possibly sell them on Etsy. But I will say the binding part was definitely the most annoying and difficult part. But overall, I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I've learned some things along the way and could do better, but this is super cool. I just have to say, I'm so happy with how this apron turned out. Like, I don't know if you can get a better view of it from this angle here, but I think it turned out so well. The only issues that I had with the apron was the binding. Some areas it didn't really connect, and then I had to try and sew. Like, I had to fix it, but I figured out a way to do it where I didn't have to completely seam rip stuff, and I don't know. This red binding just goes so perfectly with this fabric, and this fabric is just so perfect for this apron. I'm obsessed. This is my new apron. I had a thrifted apron before that was just kind of cottagecore-esque, and now I have like an actual vintage style apron, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this fabric is vintage as well, so it's kind of a true vintage apron in a sense, because it's made off of a true vintage apron pattern / real apron, and I'm pretty sure the fabric is vintage, so I'm very excited and happy about this. I'm gonna definitely be making more aprons like this. That is the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. I hope this inspired you to go into your own sewing rooms. Bye.